Would you go ahead and state your name?
Yes, of course. I'm sorry. I'm Judy Kelly, and I live at Anthem Ranch. I'm grateful for the responsiveness of our city staff. They don't just nod their heads and, when you talk to them, they actually are taking action. And as somebody who's been impacted by this and my neighbors, it really means a lot to me to have action taken. And so we sat down and the 4 leaders of the oil and gas education group, and we came up with 5 asks or requests of the city. And we've already met with the staff and talked about these, but we wanted to also let you know. Thank you. So this is something that's been out there, is the symptom tracking sheet, okay? And then we had suggestions of putting on the possibility of symptoms, okay? And so we asked them to add eye irritation, throat irritations, nasal congestion, headaches, nosebleeds, and lung irritation. And then also if they could put the severity of either mild, moderate, or severe. And that if these could be sent to all residents within 2,000 feet of a drilling pad, for people to gather information. Now, the important, and this would need to come with a letter of explanation, but it's also, in that letter, it also would be important that these people still do the online reports, because what's really important is to have action taken, like the drilling mud changed, when we had all of that, and now flushing the pipes. Hopefully that's protecting the Adams County people right now, that change. So I think it's important to do both things. This can show something in retrospect and then be matched up with what's happening at the pad. But I think it's also really important to continue to emphasize immediate reports of health impacts. We also wondered about if the inspectors could do canister grabs during the pulling or tripping of the pipes, since that's kind of been the correlation of the biggest impact on health is then. And that also, I know parameters have to be developed about how to do this, when to do it, where to do it, okay, so it's standard and consistent. But we also know that many times that these emissions, they tend to settle in low places. Okay, so, to keep that in mind. But we would want to be sure that our inspectors are maybe they're doing canister grabs also. And then this was talked about a lot already this evening of, it's not just one emission, one chemical, it's the whole cocktail of everything that's happening. And I know that some studies do put all the VOCs together and measure them that way. Okay, and look at the total. And I know we're below the guidelines. I get all that, except it's also been difficult to watch people have health impacts or read about them, talk to their families. That's been very hard, okay? Especially when they're your neighbors. It's not like somebody that you don't know, It's somebody, it's been very, very hard. So, I don't know if there's a way to have more stringent standards. Is it to look at maybe to look at chronic numbers and not acute? I don't know. I just know that we have to have a way to protect people. That's what I'm asking for. What is that going to be to protect our residents? Okay, and I understand because this is new. Residential drilling is something that's not been around very long. And so obviously we're the learners. I don't want to call us guinea pigs, even though I feel that way, but we're the learners. We're all learning in this process, okay? And I'm thinking of the future, all right? So what have we learned today and in the past that's going to protect people in the future? That's crucial, all right? And then when we discussed with the staff about the pulling the pipes and the health impacts, and the COGCs was contacted, and then they realized that extraction was not flushing the pipes. They were wiping them, but not flushing them. So I'm hoping that our inspectors will be watching that and making sure that that flushing is continued. I'm also curious to know about gathering that used water. If that hasn't been done before, I'd like to know how is that water being gathered and what's being done with it and how is it disposed of? And is that, I mean, I don't want that to become an impact on people, okay? If you're flushing whatever's in there that's causing problems. So that's something else. And then I'm curious to know, I know that the drilling on the northwest pad hasn't been going on very long, and hopefully that this new flushing idea has made a difference. And have the health complaints correlated with pulling pipes there? Is it still happening? You know, if it is, then we need to once again move forward on what can be changed, what can be different. Thank you very much for your time and all you're doing. It's crucial to all of us. Thank you.